Welcome Gold participants from around the world. I'm Fleur Bickford, Program Director and MC for Gold Lactation. I'm here today chatting with Dr. Alison Hazelbaker about her upcoming presentation titled The Impact of Bodywork on Infant Breastfeeding. So Alison, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So very excited about your presentation. I love all of your presentations. There's always such great detail in them. But before we start talking about your presentation, perhaps you can tell our delegates a little bit about yourself and your professional journey.
Well, briefly, I think I'd like to aim this towards the bodywork section. I was already practicing as a lactation consultant, and I am one of the few LCs that actually has a master's degree in human lactation. And my mentor, who is a speech-language pathologist, taught me a lot of skills. But back in the early 1990s, when the epidural epidemic started, then I started to see a different kind of sucking problem emerge, and the tools that I had learned weren't working anymore. And so I had heard about craniosacral therapy, went to check it out, participated in a study group, and saw enormous changes occurring. And so I decided to get trained in craniosacral therapy. And so I've been practicing craniosacral therapy for 20 years. I've done over 8,000 treatments on babies with sucking issues, and 100% of the time craniosacral therapy has either resolved the sucking issue or assisted in the resolution of the sucking issue. So I think it's a very powerful approach to working with suck, swallow, breathe coordination problems.
Okay, thank you for that. So this year for lactation, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary, which we are very excited about. So during these interviews, I've been having lots of fun with the question of what is the biggest change you've seen during your career? You've been working with moms and babies for quite a while now, and I'm really curious, what is the one thing that kind of sticks out as a big change, and maybe one thing that has kind of stayed the same over the years?
Well, what stayed the same is actually the breastfeeding initiation rate. Honest to goodness, I have not seen that figure move in the positive direction whatsoever in 35 years of practice. And that distresses me a lot. And I think it's because of the biggest change that I've seen during my career, and that is the institution of cultural birth practices that are interfering with successful breastfeeding by affecting the baby in ways that before 1993 we could only really kind of imagine was going on, unless we were working in the 1950s with the babies who were the victims of scopolamine. So I think the biggest change I've seen is the enormous deficits in babies' ability to be regulated and be good feeders, and that distresses me greatly.
Yeah, it is distressing, and of course very distressing for the moms as well, and the babies, of course, that are, then dealing with the consequences of the change in birth practices. So very excited to have you talking today about how we can, have a positive impact on some of that. So perhaps now you can just tell us a little bit about your presentation, what delegates can expect to learn and take away from your talk.
I hope that delegates will get a better understanding of bodywork as a grouping of modalities, and the impact that those modalities can have in a positive way on some of the challenges that they face as clinicians. And to also understand the enormity of the problem and the kinds of things that contribute to the problem, so that they can be better at, first of all, identifying those problems, and then pulling people onto the team that are actually going to assist in the process of resolution.
Okay, fantastic. So definitely excited to hear more from you. For our delegates who are listening, you can hear more from Dr. Alison Hazelbaker with her presentation titled The Impact of Bodywork on Infant Breastfeeding, which is available as part of the Bodywork add-on package for the Gold Lactation Conference. So thank you so much everyone for joining us, and have a wonderful day.